Today we're going to be looking at the top 20 QBs across the fantasy football industry, looking at the average 20 QB rankings from over a dozen fantasy football writers. Then I'm going to reorder them my way. Okay, as you can see, Mahomes, Luck, Rodgers, Watson, Mayfield, Wilson, Ryan, Brees, Cam, and Winston round out the top 10. I don't see a lot of problems with that, but I am going to have some fun reordering this to my expectation based on my predictions in 2019. 11 through 20, I'll just go through them. You can see them on the screen there. Goff, Wentz, Roethlisberger, Rivers, Trubisky, Prescott, Jackson, Murray, Allen, and Tom Brady. I have more of a problem with the top 10 than I do with the second half of that top 20. But going through these in my order, without question, Pat Mahomes remains my top QB in 2019. Yes, he may be without Hill. He may not. Even in a worst case scenario, let's say he loses Hill for the entire year, Pat Mahomes seems money for 40 TD passes. And surprisingly, he only ran for 2 TDs in 2018. I think he can up that total to 4 or 5 with ease in 2019. So in a worst case scenario where he throws for 40, 41, 42 and running for 4 or 5, and in my opinion, that's a second round QB. But the good news is you don't have to take him there, because his ADP is in the 3rd to 4th round. Don't hesitate to take Mahomes in the 3rd or 4th round in 2019. He can win you a league. And if he gets Tyreek Hill for half a season, not only can you win your league, but you strike gold with Mahomes anywhere outside of that top 25 overall. If push came to shove, I would draft Pat Mahomes in the 2nd round all day long. Something you're not going to hear from a lot of writers out there or a lot of people. I get it. It's not a popular approach. But let me ask you a question. If you do doubt Pat Mahomes at 2nd round value, again, knowing that I'm telling you to take him in the 3rd because you can. But let me ask you the question. Did you find Pat Mahomes really easy to acquire via trade last year during the season? The answer is no. I'd venture to say that if you offered anybody a player outside the top 5 overall, that Pat Mahomes owner shot you down last year, which begs the question, why do people value players differently during the year while the season's going than on draft day? The answer to that, to me, is pure pressure. The stereotype of waiting on a QB is the smart move. But as I've said over and over in a lot of my videos, when you look at that 3rd round, and let me pull up a typical 3rd round right here, this is a very shady and shaky 3rd round. It's really hard, I think, to argue that Pat Mahomes isn't the better play here than one of these players, because these players all seem as good or equal to a lot of the players in the 4th and 5th round. Pat Mahomes, easily my number 1 QB in 2019, and the guy that I would pay if I had to 2nd round value for. Something I get ripped apart a lot for. You know my reasoning behind it. Okay, so Luck is the number 2 QB. I don't have a problem with that, but I myself think Aaron Rodgers is in for a bounce back season. I'm putting him at number 2. I think a 40 to 45 passing TD year is in the cards for Aaron Rodgers. With that new staff, they're going to get back to what they normally do, which is throw touchdown passes. I think Green Bay could win the division in 2019, and I'm rolling with Rodgers in the 4th round if I'm not already owning Mahomes in almost every league I'm in. Aaron Rodgers in the 4th round can also win you a league, just like Pat Mahomes can win you a league in the 3rd or 4th round. Here's where I'm going to get a little controversial, and I'm going to take my boy Baker Mayfield and put him at number 3. I think a 40-plus TD season is definitely going to be in the cards for him in 2019, as he's surrounded by the most weapons I think I've ever seen since, well, Pat Mahomes last year in Kansas City. Same formula, big weapons. They're going to ramp up the output and attempts in 2019. There are a lot of mouths to feed, but let me tell you, just like in Kansas City, they'll get used to feeding those mouths, and you'll see everybody get theirs by week 3, week 4. So if you think David Njoku can't get his because there's so many mouths to feed, I think you're going to be shocked and upset that you took a pass on a guy like Njoku. And I think even assuming that Kareem Hunt won't get involved, even if Chubb stays the starter, could be something that I think you look back on and regret. This offense is going to be amped up, and there's a lot of mouths to feed, and there's a lot of opportunity for everybody involved. Baker Mayfield could walk into number 3 QB numbers, I think, in 2019. And I'm going to be called crazy for a while, but watch, come August, Mayfield's going to be a lot of people's number 3, if not number 2. Disagree? Comment below. I'm happy to have a discussion about it, and I don't blame you for ranking Luck or Watson at number 2 or 3. I'm going to put Luck at number 4. I think he's capable of a top 2 to 4 QB season. I'm not arguing he isn't. I just like Mahomes, Rodgers, and Mayfield more. Watson at 5. I think Wilson at 6 is a good spot. It's really hard to rank Ryan, Brees, Newton, Winston, Goff, Wentz, Roethlisberger, even Rivers, even Kyler Murray. Yes, I know he's a rookie. And same with Josh Allen, even though I know people think he doesn't have the weapons. All of these guys are capable of ranking in the 7 to 15 range for me. It's kind of crazy looking at this list. Now, having so many good QBs in that 7 to 15 range doesn't change my opinion about drafting Mahomes early being the 3rd or 4th round, which I think is crazy talk. But it also doesn't deter me away from drafting Aaron Rodgers in the 4th, or Baker Mayfield in the 5th or 6th if you can be so lucky to get him that late. I think his value is going to climb a lot. I think Drew Brees, people think he could have a down year. I disagree. I think Brees is still going to be top 7 worthy. I think Ryan right there is kind of in a good spot. I'm going to raise Roethlisberger up to about there. I think Ryan and Rothy are in pretty good position there. And then I'm going to leave Cam, leave Winston, bring Brady up. I know people think Brady is done, but I just don't see it. I think he's got a good year left. Drag Murray. Drag Murray up there. And I'm going to do this. I think people are going to think this is a little high, but I'm going to rank them like that. So I've got Ryan at 8, Roethlisberger at 9, Cam Newton at 10, Winston at 11, Tom Brady at 12. Kyler Murray, I think, surprises people and I think he has good games, bad games throughout the year. But we see a rising star in Kyler Murray. I think he enters 2020 as a top 7 to 10 overall QB. Josh Allen has more potential than 15. I really like Allen. That's probably high for some people. He has the strongest arm in the NFL, maybe behind Aaron Rodgers. Singletary is going to be amazing. Foster is a big-time sleeper. Don't sleep on Robert Foster. He has huge upside. Wentz has potential. He could go anywhere in the 8 to 15, 20 range. I mean, really, this group is very tight. Trubisky could have a big year. Dak Prescott could be ranked really low here. But he started off at 16 overall. I'm not that far off having him there at 19. And again, this is out of dozens of fantasy football analysts and writers. So majority of people think Dak is outside the top 16. So if you're a Dallas fan out there, I apologize. He has the potential. Like I said, I got to put a caveat in here. Everybody from like 10 down to 20 could go in any order. It really is that close. And Lamar Jackson, I think at 20, I'm going to take Jackson out and I'm going to put Garoppolo in there. I think Cousins deserves a look at that, 18 to 20 range. But I'm going to put Jimmy G in that 20 spot. So that's my top 20 QBs, starting off with the expert consensus with dozens of fantasy football writers providing you that ranking and then reordering it my way. So this is my ranking. I appreciate you guys watching. Tell me what you think. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts and what your rankings are, what you would change. Subscribe, follow, get some. 'Twas the night before week 1, and all through the house, not a fantasy leaguer was stirring, not even a mouse. The depth charts were hung. You drafted with care, in hopes that Todd Gurley and his knee would be there. Fantasy drafters were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of touchdowns danced in their heads. Fantasy lineups were set, submit buttons were tapped, expectations of winning, the prize money all wrapped. When out during pregame, there arose such a clatter, Gurley owners sprang from their beds to see what was the matter. Turning on ESPN and Fox Sports with a flash, images of bleeding out cold, hard cash. Todd Gurley was limping like he was running in snow. Thoughts of high hopes, oh where did they go? When what to your wondering eyes did appear, but a miniature man, 5'9", with no fear. He had speed, acceleration, damn he was quick. You knew in that moment, hell, that ain't Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his quickness then came, and he whistled and shouted and said, say my name. You yelled, Hendy, quick Daryl, I'll call you what you please. He said, D. Henderson's the name, now get on your mother knees. To the top of the lineup, the stats would grow tall. As hopes of Todd Gurley, crashing they'd fall. So depression set in. What the hell did you do? You drafted Todd Gurley, you dumb miserable poo. You drafted him despite warnings. You thought you were tough. You didn't even listen to draft his handcuff. With league safe now full of entry fee dues, you yell out, WTF, I don't want to lose. And thoughts of league banter, the joke you will be, all because you trusted Todd Gurley. Amazingly, Henderson carries the Rams on his back. You feel like you've just been kicked in the sack. The writing is on the wall. You get no pity. Next time you will listen to the one they call Smitty. Henderson is gonna ball. Don't judge by his height. Happy Christmas and week 1. And to all, a good night.